The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
All wings report in, Skywalkers! And welcome to Resistance Flyby, our recap review show where we buzz through each of the 22 episodes of the new animated Disney series, Star Wars Resistance. And in case you haven't watched them yet, there will be spoilers. I am Sarah Woloski, and flying with me through this journey on this episode is my husband, Richard Woloski.
Hey, everyone! Now, in this episode, we will be flying by Season 1, Episode 7, Signal from Sector 6, which aired on November the 11th, 2018. But before we get into this episode, Sarah, let's put a cap on this mystery.
Which mystery is that?
Now, on many of our last episodes, we have wondered who this Yanni character was. He's voiced by Bobby Moynihan, and he shows up in the closing credits, but who is he? Well, Rachel Crouch came to our aid, and she posted a screenshot of this character breakdown in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. She discovered that Yanni is the Godel character we see all over the place on the Colossus.
Perfect.
Yeah, and she found it in the Wikipedia Star Wars fan community app.
Huh.
Of course, that is the one place we didn't look.
No.
Put that on our phones because it looks like that's the place to go for all these creatures that keep popping up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you, Rachel. And now on with Signal from Sector 6.
Distress signal? All the way out here? From who?
It's coming from Sector 6, not too far away. Looks like the fun's over. We better investigate.
Right beside you, Poe.
There it is. That's an old Darius G-class freighter. Looks like a pirate raid gone bad.
There's a pirate ship still docked. Well, the other one got obliterated.
You picking up any life signs, BB-8? You got survivors? Several. Well, let's hope they're not the bad guys. Let's move, kid. There's a docking rail on the other side.
I didn't realize the Resistance fought pirates.
Listen, there are a lot of dangers out there in the galaxy. When people are in need, we help. So keep your eyes open.
This episode was directed by Sergio Paez, written by Brandon Auman, who we had met at the Star Wars Resistance Roundtable held at the Disney offices in Burbank back in, September?
Yes, September.
Yeah, he was the newcomer to Lucasfilm, having come over from Marvel and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I like his style of writing. I hope we see more from him.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into this episode synopsis. Kaz is unexpectedly sent to meet with Poe to check on his undercover progress when a distress signal sends them to a damaged starship. As representatives of the Resistance, they board the abandoned ship to aid any survivors, only to find unfriendly lifeforms aboard, Kowakian Monkey Lizards. Poe and Kaz also find an unconscious Mirialan female and deliver her to safety on the Colossus, narrowly avoiding being eaten by the biggest Kowakian Monkey Lizard you've ever seen, a Kowakian Ape Lizard. All is not what it seems, however, as Synara, the alien they rescued, contacts her pirate partner, Kragan Gor, who sets a new plan in motion. All right, so, Richard, what are your initial thoughts on this episode?
My first initial thought was this episode should have been called Alien Meets the Gremlins versus the Kowakian Monkey Lizards.
That would have pulled you in more?
Yes, it would have. Aliens and Gremlins?
Yeah.
Because this had the creepy feel of aliens with the mischievous gremlins. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure both of those films were a great inspiration to Brandon Auman.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, now we need another press day with these people.
Yes.
Just to reflect back on these episodes, because now we have even more questions for them.
More to talk about, too. It's like, what was your favorite movie growing up? We should have asked that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You put that in your back pocket for the next press event.
Okay.
Now, I like the story and animation of this episode very, very much, and lots of laugh out loud Saturday morning cartoon moments.
Definitely.
All right, what are your initial thoughts?
Okay, well, Poe is back. Woohoo! Love me some Poe. And the overall episode was exciting. We go into space, we go into an asteroid field, we battle the Kowakian Monkey Lizards, and we get to know the space pirate Synara-san a little better because we see her and we actually watch her interact with Kaz. You know, in the former episode, The Triple Dark, which is where we saw her initially, we just saw her behind her mask. You know, you couldn't really see her whole face or her outfit or anything. And it wasn't a big role. So this episode, we really got to see a little more of her. And also, this whole episode feels like the first act of 3 for a storytelling arc. So I'm hoping we see an arc here.
Yeah, we've been there before.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going back to the Children from Tahar.
Oh.
That should have been a great episode 1 of 3 for a story arc.
Okay. Oh, Well, I do know that the next episode is called Synara's Score.
Right, so
So
chances are
yes,
we're going to see some payoff from Synara.
Exactly. Yeah.
It left with a definite cliffhanger, so they've got to pay that one off.
Okay. Well, that's good. So I'm hoping next week we'll see Act 2.
Well, judging by the title, I think we will.
Yes.
Now, like always on Star Wars Resistance, they open up with a great shot, a great establishing shot of the Colossus. We've had shots of the Colossus in the morning, at night, but now we get one at dusk. And what a very pretty opening shot this was.
Was it dusk or dawn?
That's a good question.
I think it might have been dawn.
It must have been dawn because in the next scene, we see them all getting up, but we don't know their sleep schedules.
That's true.
They may be working throughout the night, sleep through the day, and get up at dusk.
Right. But well, what follows in the time, you do see the sun kind of come up as they go fly into the clouds.
Or maybe on Colossus, up is down and down is up.
No, this isn't Alice in Wonderland, Richard.
Or the upside down.
No. So let's go through our thoughts on this episode.
Now, I love the Colossus. I'm not tired of the Colossus, but I'm very happy to see the adventures taking place outside the Colossus.
I agree.
So the stories and the environments appear to be growing. And that's what we need at this point is growth. Like with the Children from Tahar, we have a great opening, like we just said, for a new storyline, but where to go? Where'd those children go? I want to see them follow through. We've planted seeds. Now let's let those seeds flourish.
Well, perhaps they're planting these seeds and then like all in the last couple of episodes or something, they're going to pay off.
Right, but if this series is aimed for the kids, like we've established, 6 to 8, 6 to 9, you follow through on a story 4 weeks later, and
they might not
kids
remember.
will have forgotten.
Right. Okay.
Now I got to say that I love this episode because we see a new classic creature.
Woohoo! Which one was that, Richard?
The Kowakian Monkey Lizards, aka the Salacious Crumb species. Now this would have been a great Halloween episode.
Aww.
Like what the Clone Wars did years back with the Death Troopers. They aired that episode Halloween week because it was so creepy and Halloweenish.
Yeah.
This would have been perfect to have aired during Halloween week.
Yeah, and what made this episode even more creepy in some ways was the lighting. I think the lighting of this episode really stood out to me. At first, I loved the early morning light and the shade filtering on Kaz and Yeager as they made their way up into the clouds. It was just really pretty and I, you know, it didn't take away from what was happening, but I noticed it a lot, you know, the lighting.
This is kind of the antithesis of Rebels.
Yeah.
Meaning Rebels was a greatly designed and animated show.
Okay.
And the lighting design was fantastic, but the storylines was the key focus, right?
Right.
Whereas this seems to be flipped, whereas the design and the animation, the lighting seem to be taking the main focus, and the stories are a distant second.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would. Also, when they're on the abandoned ship and they're being followed by the Kowakian Ape Lizard.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some lighting there when they're in the cargo bay that makes it was like a lot of light and a lot of shade. I'm trying to think of what that means, but I think it had a purpose.
Oh, yeah, they're setting up the mysterious
Okay.
creatures.
Okay,
when you
yeah.
get all those, it was lit from below, which you'll
Ah.
see a lot in the Universal horror movies and horror movies in general.
There you go.
Because it makes the shadows grow up the character's body.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was seeing then. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I'm glad you knew what to say there. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of want to call this Kowakian Ape Lizard the Urko of the Salacious Crumbs.
Wait, what? Why?
Urko from Planet of the Apes.
Right, but-
because he's the ape. He's the big mean ape.
Oh, he's the big mean one. He's the Captain Urko, or what is he?
He's a General Urko.
General.
He's a General Urko of the Kowakians.
And he's always chasing the humans, right?
Yes, yes,
Oh.
and always in a bad mood.
Oh,
Just wants to destroy and maim.
okay. Well, there was something that really stood out to me in this episode, and that was CB23, who is another like BB-8 droid. She looks like BB-8, only she has really fun, bright colors, teal and red. So she really stands out. I know when I first saw her in the episode, I gasped. I was like, oh, look at her. And then in the dialogue, we find out she's a female droid.
Now, what distinguishes a male from a female droid?
I think it's just how the people refer to her.
Yeah.
Refer to the droids.
I can see TC-14 in Phantom Menace being a female,
Right.
because the droid had a female voice.
I'm TC-14 at your service. This way, please.
You can call that a female,
Right.
but the BB units?
I mean, yeah, I think it's just a matter of how they're referred to. And I don't know if they get to pick, or is it the people who talk to them? I don't know. But we read Bucket's list this week on StarWars.com, and we actually learned that CB23 is named after Carrie Beck.
Oh, what if Carrie Beck had voiced CB23?
That would have been cool. I don't see that in the credits at all. But here's what Bucket's List says about this. Now, in the early stages of this episode, Poe's loner droid was named BB-23, but having two droids named BB would have been confusing. So she was renamed CB-23, which ends up being a nod to Carrie Beck, Vice President of Development within the Lucasfilm Story Group. Now Poe in this episode says,
Don't mind CB23, kid. She's a little particular.
so I wonder if this is a personality trait of Carrie Beck and that was put into the episode. I mean, if you're Vice President of Development, you got to be particular in the story group, right?
That would help.
Uh-huh.
That would definitely help. So we're going to tweet out to Carrie Beck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of questions there. Now, speaking of CB23, as much as I loved her character and the relationship she had with BB-8, always trying to get one up on each other,
Right.
I feel like there's a missed opportunity there to get Bucket into the main storyline. And I know Bucket is more of the mechanic droid. And he's Yeager's droid. But once again, with just a change of dialogue from Yeager saying, hey, I know you guys really need another droid right now, and I really need Bucket here with me, but I'm willing to loan you Bucket for this expedition. Or maybe that in these new X-Wings, they're only fitted for the BB units.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. They only have a round socket.
Once again, a change of dialogue. Could have fixed all that. Hey, can we lift out the BB units slip casing and make it more fitted for an astromech? Yeah, I'll have that done by the next scene. Bam! And there goes Bucket's adventures.
Kind of like they get this signal from Sector 6 and then they go, oh, look, it's over there. And they fly like 2 feet and they're in Sector 6.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
So once again, all comes down to just a small change of dialogue.
Okay. Well, that's funny. All right, was there anything else that stood out?
Now, with Kaz and Poe searching the abandoned Darius G-class freighter, it had an Aliens feel, like I was mentioning before. Like in Aliens, for those of you who haven't seen this 1986 James Cameron opus, when the Space Marines had to check out the colony that was infested by aliens and then are attacked by aforementioned aliens. Well, here, Kaz and Poe have to investigate this freighter that they just got a distress signal from and are subsequently attacked by the Kowakian Monkey Lizards. But whereas in Aliens, the aliens were just bent on destruction and death, these Kowakian Monkey Lizards had more of a Gremlins feel. Very mischievous feel to them.
Yeah, let's just call them monkeys. Can we call them monkeys for now? That's what Poe calls them.
You say monkeys, and I'm going to want to edit in some monkey songs.
Okay, okay. It's just a lot to say.
How about just Kowakians?
Okay, that works. The Kowakians.
Or the Salaciouses.
Yeah. No. Kowakians.
Or the Crumbs.
No. Okay, I like that.
How about Kowakians? We'll call them Kowakians.
Okay. Well, speaking of, you got an aliens feel. I kind of got that too, but I also got a Firefly feel when they went to check out the abandoned ship, because there are a couple moments in the Firefly series where the crew docks the Firefly on an abandoned ship that has reavers on it, and those are really, really bad. They're like humans that have been modified to be really terrible and eat like cannibalistic.
Aren't they the White Walkers?
Yeah, basically.
Of Firefly?
Kind of. So we're glad there weren't any reavers on this ship. Although that would have catapulted the series into a PG-13 though.
Well, just getting the aliens feel almost had let's say a PG-12.
Yeah,
because of the very creepy lighting. The creepy lighting just put it over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
But what brought it back, of course, are the Saturday morning cartoon moments.
Woohoo!
And there were lots of them, like when Bucket gets Kaz out of bed with the air horn.
Yep.
And Kaz jumps up, hits his head, and stumbles out of bed.
And even before that, Kaz is snoring, and his mouth is sideways.
Yeah.
You could see little kids getting a big kick out of that.
Yeah. And then when he hits his head and does that shoulder roll out of bed.
Yeah, and then hits his head on the floor.
And this series also has got a great use of the long shot.
Yeah.
The Lucas long shot. And here they use it to really emphasize the broad physical comedy, because we can see the spatial relations.
Okay.
Like when Kaz, he needs to jump into the X-wing from the shuttle.
Right.
That he and Yeager are on. Poe comes out of nowhere because they have this little secret rendezvous, and Poe tells him, get in the X-Wing, and we're going to blast off and have a little secret progress meeting.
Yeah, air jumping? Heck no.
Yeah, so Kaz gets to the edge, and BB-8 says, just get in there, and hits Kaz, and Kaz falls into the X-Wing, and we have this really nice long shot where we see Kaz falling a story and a half into the X-Wing. Yeah, a great laugh out loud moment, but yet they really use that broad space to emphasize the physical comedy.
Right.
And then afterwards, we see BB-8 doing this very cute little somersault into Poe's X-Wing in another long shot.
Right. Okay, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right.
So the direction and the lighting design are top-notch in this series.
Excellent.
So now, what were some of your standout, memorable moments from this episode?
Okay, well, I really love that Poe really hates the Kowakians. And I think it's hilarious. Here, let's hear him talking about it.
Kowakian Monkey Lizards. Biggest pain this side of the galaxy. I hate those things. I hate them. I hate monkeys. I hate them so much. Like I said, I hate those things. Yeah, go on. Get out of here.
Okay, the first time Poe says that, I really got it like an Indiana Jones, rats, or snakes, yeah.
Why did it have to be snakes?
So Indiana Jones' hatred of snakes, and of course his father's hatred of rats, is kind of like Poe's hatred of monkeys. So I like that. I like that connection there.
Now, one of the most memorable moments for me in this episode was the introduction of the super salacious crumb.
I love that.
The Urko of the Kowakians, and it's very reminiscent of the Rancor's introduction in Return of the Jedi, where you see the door rise to reveal this big monstrous beast.
Yeah.
Well, now we see the super salacious, the Urko, ripping the doors apart to reveal this ginormous Kowakian monkey ape beast.
That was amazing. I loved that.
Yeah, it was very also reminiscent of King Kong and all of those big monster movies.
Yeah. Any other memorable moments?
Yeah. Now, like what we were saying earlier, BB-8 and CB-23, they have this one-upsmanship on each other throughout the whole episode. In the end, they band together, they work together, And when they're parting ways, they give each other a little wave goodbye. That was a very sweet moment.
It was, yeah. It's funny because CB23, we meet her in this episode, and she has a whole little character arc. She's a little stuck up at first,
Yeah.
and then BB-8 saves her at one point, and then she gets I think a little bit of a crush on BB-8.
Well,
but then,
come on.
Who wouldn't have a crush
Exactly.
on? I have a crush on BB-8.
So do I.
Yay.
Well, BB-8 is also the star of the LOL moment.
Yes,
I think
he is.
Not just the LOL moment for this episode, but for the whole series.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to explain what we're talking about?
Yes. This is when they're on the abandoned ship, and BB-8 grabs a hold of a Kowakian and starts spinning him around like a top. Oh my god! Richard, we both laughed out loud.
Oh my goodness, we laughed for about 35 minutes. That was hilarious. And once again, my nominee for the funniest moment in, I would say, any Star Wars animated series.
Wow.
Oh, I know.
Okay, even more than like the droids arc in Star Wars Clone Wars?
That was a great arc. The Void?
Uh-huh.
Great arc.
Yeah,
Do not diss Gascon.
No,
Do not diss Gascon.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I hated that arc.
Well, it didn't like you either, okay?
Okay.
Now, there's another laugh out loud moment, and that was, like I had mentioned before, when BB-8 does that cute little somersault into the X-Wing.
Yeah. Anything BB-8 does is cute.
That's very, very true. But why does he do a somersault?
Because he can. He's showing off for CB23.
Well, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That just put that whole scene into perspective. All right, so now there's a reason.
Yeah.
Other than giving the audience a great laugh out loud moment.
Yep. He was showing off.
Now, you had mentioned Bucket's List earlier.
Yes.
What else was on Bucket's List as seen on StarWars.com?
Okay, so Bucket's List for this episode 7 has some fun facts for you. And so the first fun fact is, in the original outline to this episode, Yeager was going to take Kaz to a nearby atoll where Poe and CB23 had landed their X-Wings, but the episode had to be faster and more intense. And so this was restaged to a mid-air transfer to keep the episode moving. And also, of course, to give BB-8 that somersault.
Good decisions. Good decisioning right there.
Indeed. Okay, now, once they arrive on the abandoned ship, Poe and Kaz and the BBs, or the BB and the CB, the animal crates that litter the corridors of the freighter are the same that are used for the puffer pig in Star Wars Rebels.
Boy, they are really bringing back these puffer pigs. Remember the blue bacon from last episode?
Yes, that was puffer pig bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, someone likes puffer pigs. I think they just had the what is it? The crate in the computer. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
The computer model.
And plus, it's just fun to say puffer pigs.
Yeah. But there's something more to some of these crates. Richard, do you want to say?
Now, when Poe and Kaz are walking by other broken crates, the text on those crates say, in Arabesh, caution, handle with care.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow those Kowakians figured out a way to get out of those crates.
Yeah, or maybe someone, yeah, I guess so, because they're broken.
Yeah.
So they must have gotten out. And honestly, this kind of storytelling, it reminds me of queue lines in Disneyland, where even the queue tells the story just by showing you things. So like in the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, as you're in the queue, you can see footprints of Rocket Raccoon and even the place where he broke into the actual building itself, if you're paying attention.
Well, just like on Star Tours, too.
Mm-hmm.
We see Captain Rex in that crate. We see Arabesh all over the place.
Right. So I love that they have those little nods, and it's the unexpected storytelling that's the best. Okay, also, Bucket's List mentions Synara San. And if you remember, out of all the Star Wars Resistance action figures that we saw, hers was my favorite. So I'm really excited to see the character on the show, and Bucket's List tells a little more about her. So she is a Mirialan. Is that how you say that? I'm not sure how to say that. Mirialan? I'm not sure, but I'm going to say Mirialan.
That's why I wanted you to read that part.
Okay. I'm going to say Mirialan because that's what rolls off the tongue, even though the I is in the wrong place. But if Skywalkers, you want to correct me, please let me know. But in the Star Wars galaxy, you can pretty much pronounce things how you want.
Mirialan?
I know, right?
Mirialan.
Right.
Alan. Mirialan. Let's just call them the Kowakians.
I'm gonna call her the Mirialan. Now I can't even say it.
The Undulies.
Well, yeah, this was a species that was first seen in Attack of the Clones with Jedi Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee. So they have the fun stuff on their face.
Yeah, the purple skin tones.
Right.
And then the
facial tattoos.
The diamond tattoos all over their forehead going down their nose.
And it's really pretty. It's a really pretty look.
So can we call the species the Undulies?
No, I'm going to call them the Mirialians. And you can call them the Undulies and confuse people. How about that?
Help us, Rachel Crouch. You're our only hope.
Nice. Well, earlier designs of Synara included her as a green-skinned Mirialan or as a Weequay. So what's a Weequay again?
Those are Hondo Anaka is a Weequay.
Oh, with the facial
Yeah, the little tusks.
Tusks. Okay, on his
that's
chin.
That's the creature in Return of the Jedi that pushes Luke off of the skiff into the Sarlacc.
Okay, I have the visual in my head. Okay, cool. And also, if you look at Synara's costume in this particular episode, it includes boots and belt of an Imperial scout trooper, which kind of is hinting at her pirate origins. Because I guess she would, just confiscate what she can. So
it's a very polite way of saying steal.
Yes. Yes, it is. So, I'm excited to see more of Synara, and it looks like we'll get that in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's time, Richard, for our specialities.
Nice callback.
Sith Lords are our speciality.
Well, I love me some classic creatures, and like we've been saying, the classic creature to make an appearance for the first time in this episode are the Kowakian Monkey Lizards, but we also get mentions of other classic creatures, like when Poe hears sounds on the freighter, and he's trying to place them, and he says,
Rathtar, Gundark, Reek, who knows? Come on, let's head this way.
Oh, I only hope we're gonna get rathtars, gundarks, and reeks in future episodes.
That would be fun, but I love that he mentions them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's a Disney era creature, there's a original era creature, and there's a prequel era creature in there, and that's not by accident.
No, that was very political.
They want to represent.
Yeah.
And they did. All the power to them.
I love it.
Now, in earlier episodes, when we were talking about what classic creatures we wanted to see in the future, I didn't even think about the Kowakian Monkey Lizards.
No.
And I'm so ashamed.
Yeah, because who doesn't want more salacious crumbs running around the galaxy?
Yeah, and I wondered who voiced these Kowakians.
Yeah.
And it should have been Mark Dodson.
Yeah, who we talked
to on a previous episode of Skywalking Through Neverland.
That's true.
And I was really hoping that they were going to pay homage to Salacious Crumb by having Mark Dodson voice these Kowakians. But, we got the next best thing. We got David Acord, we got David Filoni, and Matt Wood.
I know,
to voice all of these Kowakians. And you know what? Mark Dodson had also voiced some gremlins.
Yes,
in Gremlins.
Yes, that's right.
It was right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was right there.
Well, I'm sure Dave Filoni kind of saw the write-up for this episode and was like, I want to do that.
Well, yeah, but come on. I would have elevated this episode from a great episode to the best episode ever if Mark Dodson had come in and voiced those Kowakians.
Aww.
Maybe even voice the Kowakian Ape Lizard.
Ooh, yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Now, there's some fun notes about the Kowakian Ape Lizard in Bucket's list.
Yeah, according to Amy Beth Christensen, the series art director, the design for the Kowakian Ape Lizard was based off the idea that if the monkey lizards were the howler monkeys of Kowak...
So the little baby monkeys, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Kowakian Ape Lizard would have been the gorilla.
Oh.
That all makes sense. And using that as inspiration, the ape lizard ended up with the short hind legs, with most of the power coming from the huge, long-clawed forearms.
And yeah, it had like really gigantic forearms.
Yeah, very, very Rancor-like. And its facial features were meant to capture the puppet qualities of Salacious Crumb.
Now, the Kowakian Ape Lizard does have big tusks and that line of bristly hair running down his spine. And this is kind of a nod to a razorback wild boar. So they mixed those two creatures, an ape and a boar, together to come up, and I guess they mixed three creatures, a gorilla, a wild boar, and a monkey lizard.
And I'm sure the Rancor was in their subconscious when they were doing this, because it definitely had Rancorish type qualities.
I agree with you.
All right, Sarah, now let's talk about your speciality, and that is the musical breakdown.
Okay, well, we see Poe in this episode. He returns, and so do nice brass heroic chords when we see Poe in his X-Wing for the first time. Now, before this, the music has been mostly woodwinds and, just very small instrumentation, and it's a really nice contrast and illustrates Kaz's excitement in seeing Poe.
What? Is that... Poe Dameron?
How you doing, buddy? Did you miss me?
You know it!
It's also bookended at the end when Poe leaves. Those heroic chords are clearly only for him.
BB-8, I'll see you soon, buddy.
Now, what really stuck out to me musically were those horror movie moments.
Ooh.
In the soundtrack.
Right. Like they're on this abandoned ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with no music, I'm not sure what we would really get from that. It's almost like with no music, it might have been scarier. Like Alien has an extremely bare score.
Mm-hmm.
So the bed of music that plays during this episode when they're searching the abandoned ship, it makes the scene less scary for little kids, but it still increases the tension though with a climbing chromatic scale as Poe and Kaz look for life signs.
Humanoid life signs? Coming this way?
It's too fast!
Get down!
So overall, because the show is for kids, it's not like any big stingers or something that'll make kids really scared and jump out of their seats.
Yeah.
Instead, you have this bed of this chromatic scale. So it gradually increases the tension without really scaring the little ones.
And they did the same thing in Aliens, where they played more off the sound effects than a musical score.
All right, well, there is the best musical moment in this episode, and that is when we have the Kowakian Monkey Lizards, and they're jumping all over the place and jumping on Poe's face and stuff, and we have this awesome monkey messing around music.
Cue Monkey's theme.
I know. Well, it sounds like circus music gone wild. It's just great.
So no Monkey's theme.
No Monkey's theme. So here, let's enjoy this monkey messing around music.
Hey! Give me that! Come back here, you! Oh, wait!
Well, I thoroughly enjoy that music, but now it's time to get into our questions of this episode.
Question
Richard?
number 1. Where are the kids from Tahar?
Ah.
I know we've been going over this, but you set up a beautiful story. Let's pay it off.
You know what? They're down underneath Colossus and hiding out?
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay, well, what else? What else is there?
Okay, so in the beginning, Poe wants a progress report from Kaz, so they talk in outer space over their comlinks. Since nowhere on the ground was safe from eavesdroppers, Poe even says that transmissions can be broken.
Yep.
So, which is why they need to meet in outer space where it's one-on-one, but they're talking over comlinks. Can anyone in range pick up on their comlink signal and listen in?
I kind of thought about that.
But I'm sure the First Order has got some stealth fighters that can't be detected. So you would think they'd want to do this in person.
Right.
Rather than over a comm link.
Right.
Look at a cell phone. Anyone can tap into that.
Yeah.
This is not a far cry from a cell phone.
I did think about that, but I'm glad you voiced that question, Richard.
Okay.
So I have a question about Poe.
Okay.
And this is when he finally takes matters into his hands and shoots one of the monkey lizards. And I think he did shoot one, right?
Shot it or shot near it to make
Yeah.
it scamper off.
But I think we heard a thump, but we never see the dead body. I guess we can thank Disney for that one. They didn't want to show the dead Kowakian Monkey Lizard on the floor.
No, not a good image for the kids.
Although there's one point towards the end of that scene where BB-8 rolls over something, and it would have been funny if that was the body.
You heard like a squish.
Ew.
Ew. Now, in the end, Yeager had said it was a bad idea to bring the girl,
Which is the...
Synara-san,
Right.
back to the Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
What did he mean by that? What did he mean? It almost seems like the Colossus is a super secret place, but it's a refueling station. People
Right.
know about it. It's not like an underground, covert station hangout.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why he thought it was a bad idea bringing a new person to the Colossus.
That's a good question. I think that was just meant kind of as a setup for her character. And obviously the next scene that pays off because she's contacting Kragan.
Yeah, but it's too much of a telegraph then.
Yeah. Chalk it up to just trying to move the story along, I think.
And heighten some drama.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I have one final question, and that is, how did Poe, Kaz, and company make it off the abandoned ship with the ape lizard after them? Because you see a moment where they run into a corridor and the ape lizard is about to open up the door again, which it's been proven that he can open doors. Like, we've seen him open 3 doors at this point. And then all of a sudden the next cut to Poe and Kaz leaving in their X-Wings off the abandoned ship. We never see, like, them close the door to the ape lizard or
Well,
something.
like you had said earlier, this show has to be faster and more intense.
Yes.
To see them getting away, getting into their X-Wings, buckling up for safety, checking the rearview mirrors, it would add an extra 15 minutes.
Well, okay, I do agree with you. However, they could have just closed the door on the ape, and then that would have, like, solidified. Then the next scene could have been them in their X-Wings.
They do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like in Peter Jackson's King Kong movie.
Oh.
When the explorers captured King Kong, they have him, and they show King Kong and the boat out like a couple of miles, cut to King Kong being on the boat already. Like, well, how did you get the King Kong on this ship?
Wait, so the King Kong was, like, following the boat?
No, King Kong had been knocked unconscious.
Oh, okay.
So all the explorers who went looking on Skull Island for King Kong, they knocked him out. And now they have an unconscious giant gorilla.
Okay, on land.
On Skull Island. But
Gotcha.
they've got to get him to the ship, which they show being like a couple of miles offshore.
Okay.
Cut to King Kong being on the ship.
Okay. So they skipped the part where the guys had to be like, all right, get some ropes, get some nets,
All right, who's been working out?
put your back into it.
Who can lift this 80-ton gorilla? Any takers?
Nice.
Jack Black, stop walking away. We see you slinking off.
Oh.
So when you had brought this up when we were watching this show, that's what I thought of.
Okay, nice. All right, well, let's get into our final thoughts of this episode.
All right, well, I like this episode. One of my favorites. I love the animation. I love the lighting. I love the fact that we have the Kowakian Monkey Lizards, and I just hope we see more of these guys.
Yeah, which the Kowakian...
The Kowakian Monkey Lizards.
Oh, I don't know if we will.
Oh, we've got
I think
to.
that was a one-off.
I hope not. And I want an action figure of the Kowakian Ape Lizard.
Oh, I wonder if it has a name. Buckets List didn't put a name on it.
Urko.
Okay, you're calling it Urko?
Yeah.
Urko Ape?
So once again, I thought this was a great episode because Kaz wasn't as goofy and silly and slapsticky, except for that little bit in the beginning. He really showed a true character, and when he was escaping from the pirates, he demonstrated some moves.
Right.
to distract the pursuing pirates. And
The move that he had just learned from Poe?
no, actually, he had just learned from his mistakes, which is a great character arc because he hadn't flown in a while.
Okay.
And as he's going around the asteroids, he just can't get that space just right because he keeps hitting the asteroids. Well, he finds out in the end, if I hit this asteroid, it'll kick up a whole bunch of asteroid dust and debris into the face of the pursuing pirate, which will end up destroying them.
And it totally worked.
Yeah, so they are going off the pattern of Kaz in the very end, at the 11th hour, pulling out a great strategic move.
Yeah. That seems to be his character arc
Yes.
in each episode.
Yes.
Well, overall, I like this episode as well because it had everything Star Wars. You get flying in space, you get X-Wings, you get an asteroid field, you get aliens, and Poe.
How many Kowakian Monkey Lizards would you give this episode?
Ooh. How many were there?
Let's say out of 10 Kowakian Monkey Lizards.
I would give it...
Let's say out of 5 Kowakian Monkey Lizards, how much would you give this?
I would give it 3 Kowakian Monkey Lizards and an ape.
That's pretty good.
I know.
It's a pretty good rating system.
Okay, what about you?
I would give it 4 Kowakian Ape Lizards.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Nice. All right, well, that wraps up our Resistance flyby of Signal from Sector 6. Once again, thank you for your support, Skywalkers. And if you would like more Skynet in your life, check out skywalkingforce.com. It's where we plus up our content and offer little extras just for you. Be a part of the Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com. Now, if you'd like to support us in a different way, please share this show with a friend or click on the links to Pozu Shoes, Oppo Suits, or TeePublic on our website, skywalkingthroughneverland.com. And there's lots of Black Friday sales going on, so make sure to head over there.
Well, I am excited about that Black Friday sale and very excited about this upcoming Skywalking Through Neverland meetup.
Yes, we're going to be at Disneyland on December 4th to celebrate Festival of the Holidays.
Festival of the Skywalkers, we're calling it. Ooh, that's a good name.
That is a good name. Aww. Yeah, we're going to meet from 7 to 9 p.m., and that time has changed because we realized we had something a little earlier. So, 7 to 9 p.m. on December 4th, we're going to meet up at DCA for Festival of the Holidays, and we're going to meet up at the entrance to the festival, and we'll have fun eating and drinking around the booths that make up the event.
And yes, Skywalkers, this will be a Secret Squirrel-free event.
Will it?
Yes, it will.
You know that? For sure?
Yes, because we know their ways now.
Okay.
We know what to use, what not to use.
What about Kowakian Monkey Lizard free? Will it be that free?
Oh, I hope not.
No?
I hope not.
Oh, you know what? I think we might have one. We might have to bring with us.
Okay.
So yeah, if you'd like to add the event to your calendar on Facebook, just head to our Skywalking Through Neverland group and check out the events. We really hope to see you there, Skywalkers. Now, speaking of Facebook group, we do have that Facebook group on Facebook, obviously. So if you search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group, you can request to join and then answer the 2 questions that pop up. We cannot let you in if you don't answer those questions. There's been a couple people in the queue, but they haven't answered the questions yet, so we can't let you in. No. So we are also on Twitter and Instagram as @SkywalkingPod, and you can email us. Like if you have some thoughts about the next episode of Star Wars Resistance, or even this episode and want to share, just email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
Well, Skywalkers, we will see you next week when we fly by the episode Synara's Score, scheduled to air on November the 18th. So until then, bye-bye, Skywalkers.
Fly bye!